Catherine and I standing upright together could never have done this
Never.
simply on our own. From the very beginning, people kept joining us. It's the solidarity that enables a movement.
The marriage equality campaign involved, at times it felt like it involved half the country. Do you know what I mean? There was thousands and thousands and thousands of people. And almost every member of the gay community was somehow involved, whether they were knocking on doors or helping with leaflets, or even if they were just wearing their badges and all of that sort of stuff. And they were talking to their family members about it. And then, of course, the wider community was very involved, and there were so many, allies, straight people and mothers and cousins and friends and all of that.
It was really a culmination of years of work between the three organisations, and it was kind of a natural coming together of Glen, the Irish Council of Civil Liberties, and marriage equality for a common purpose, which was civil marriage equality in Ireland.
It came from parents, it came from cousins, it came from brothers, it came from sisters. It had its power because everybody could appreciate the issue that was at hand.
So many more people worked for marriage equality.
The progress that has been made, including the referendum win, belongs to every single gay person who ever came out, and every single person they came out to accepting their declaration or sharing of information.
There's this very technical expression in law. It's called locus standi. You have to have the standing. The standing in a location, effectively, is the translation. But to take a case, you have to take a case. You can only take a case if it impacts you directly. You couldn't do it in theory, like we wanted to look for marriage equality if we were, straight. You have to want it and desire it for yourself.
Straight people wanted an opportunity to say, do you know what, I'm not bigoted, and I don't want to discriminate against people.
If you look over the last 20 years, there was huge progress in LGBT rights, such as decriminalisation, the introduction of the Employment Equality Act, as well as civil partnership, which was probably one of the biggest steps towards marriage equality. The introduction of civil partnership allowed people to see that LGBT people were just the same as everybody else and has the same relationships, and it was really integral in that, in moving forward and moving on to marriage equality.
Way back then, we didn't want to accept a domestic partnership kind of arrangement. It wasn't
No,
about
absolutely.
that. It was
Nor
about.
did we ever. And every time people said, "Well, now we're in the transition. Will
Yeah,
you now?
we
You
never
can
accepted
get."
that
We
we were
said,
civil
"Absolutely not. We will never participate." Now, this I know isn't acceptable to everybody's ears,
Yeah.
but you have to speak your truth. I always felt it was a discriminatory institution. While I utterly respect it, we went and assisted friends of ours to have a civil partnership in different parts of the country. Of course we did. We respect everybody's choice, but I absolutely would not participate in a discriminatory institution. And in the interval of all of this, I had a brain hemorrhage and indeed could have died, but I still was not going to do a civil partnership institution. I would not concede that we would participate. While I had my own reserves about the notion of a referendum, having to ask my next door neighbour, a lovely 80-plus-year-old woman, nothing wrong with her, but I mean, good God, she was able to get married, why wasn't I? So I did have initially, but in the end I can say it was absolutely the right thing, because I had no desire to be kind of singled out. Oh, they're the couple who took this, brought it to final completion. I mean, we did try, but not to have that kind of identity. It is much, much better that the people of Ireland said, this must happen. This is an equality, it's an inequality, it's an injustice. Let's go for it. And that gives me extraordinary joy, I have to say.
I spent all my years thinking how to say, chasing all my fears and pushing them back away. And when the sun comes out, maybe I'll realize it was just doubt darkening my sky.